That's why people come to Giriraj. Why do you think all these lakhs and lakhs of people are doing Prikrama and Dandavat? Do you think they're all praying for pure devotional service? Do you think so? You think they're all praying, Krishna, take away everything. Harishye. There's one verse, Harishye, he says, Anugrahaya Harishye. He said, if I especially favor someone, Anugraha, then Harishye. Sarva Harishye. I take away everything. It's in the 88th chapter of Bhagavatam. Everyone knows that verse. So they're, oh Krishna, oh Giriraj, please take away everything. Please make me your unalloyed servant. All I want is your pure devotion, life after life. I'm fed up, I'm tired, please accept. Maybe 1 out of 25 million people that come to Govardhan is praying like that. Most everyone is going around praying, please give me a new car, give me a new job, new husband, new wife, new kids, or new house, or more of this, that, the other thing. Then Giriraj is giving also. Giriraj is giving. You go Vardhan. Go means sense enjoyment. Senses. Vardhan means increase. Govardhan means increase the sense enjoyment. So he increases the sense enjoyment. Hey, why you take the trouble to go to Vaishnavi? It's dangerous. It's such a long way. Hey, look, I've been going to Govardhan every Saturday night doing Prikrama, and I tell you, it really works. He's really paying off. Don't. You can offer pranams to Vaishnav Devi, but Govardhan and Vaishnav, they're like sister and brother. They're like the same. Save your time. It's only 2 hours drive. Drive your AC car down to Govardhan, park, walk around 5 hours. You just pray whatever you want. You'll get it. There's so much trouble to go to J&K to go to Vaishnav Devi. Forget it. So that now you see, there's so few people going to Vaishnav Devi. And where are they going? They're all coming to Govardhan. Giradharna ki! So Giriraj, Vaishnav Devi is being rejected by the Punjabis. They're not rejecting, but they're not going. They're all coming. They go, but so many don't go. They come here. Haven't you seen? And those who've been doing Govardhan Prikrama for 30 years, and they know when you used to do Prikrama, you could walk for 5 kilometers and not see anybody. On Saturday night or Sunday morning, not see anyone for 5 kilometers. Maybe some Babaji way in the distance or some old widow or something. Now you can't walk without tripping over some housewife or whatever. And they're not all Shuddha Bhaktas. They're all Prakriti Bhaktas. Anyway, so this is Giriraj is very merciful. So now what Siddhanta Saraswati is saying, Krishna is like kind of he's doing a little jadoo, a little magic. Yes, worship me, come on, whatever you want, come on, worship me, come on, do Prikrama, pray. And he gives. And then, along with giving, fulfilling the material desires, then Giriraj, he puts a little tiny drop of cyanide. It gives you nectar, but it gives you a little bit of desire to become detached. So you start getting these things from Giriraj. Giriraj gave me this and that. Then one day, all of a sudden, you think, actually, maybe there's something more than material enjoyment. Maybe there's something more than material possessions. And that is the little bit of mercy that Krishna is mixing in his gifts. Little secret mix. But when you go to Vaishnav Devi or any Durga, they only give you the goods. They give you the goods. They don't give you any mercy. That mercy is an inclination to see the light. That inspiration to see through the material acquisition. To see through material aggrandizement and position and collection and achievement. And to realize there's something more than Maya. There's God, the service of God, the spiritual world. And then the person says, for years I was coming to Govardhan doing Prikrama and only asking for this and that. And he was giving me. And then one day I thought, I should just do Prikrama and just the whole time I should hire some people to chant on a bullock cart. And I'll walk behind them and I'll just chant Krishna's glories the whole way around. I don't have any desires. I don't want anything. I just want to please Krishna by singing his glories. And take my whole family around behind the bullock cart. And then he starts doing that. Then he begins his life of pure devotional service. So this is what he's saying here, that Krishna, when someone engages in Krishna's devotional service for material things, instead of what happens, he acquires a taste for serving Krishna. Then when he gets that taste, bhakti ruchi, seva ruchi, then automatically he gives up his material desires and he willingly offers himself as an eternal servant of Krishna. So this is a special dispensation of Krishna's mercy. That when you come to him, he gives you really the best thing. What he really wants to give you is his love. And that's eternal, and most satisfying. There's nothing more satisfying and fulfilling than love. So that we think all these other things are more important, or more necessary, at least at the moment. So we get those, and then all of a sudden we, wait a minute, and then we can aspire for Krishna's love. So this is a great... People now, all these people are coming around. That's why all these gurus are coming here and setting up ashrams. All these gurus of various faith traditions are setting up ashrams and all around Govardhan Parikram Marg, because they're going to pick up all those people when they become serious. When they're walking around and saying, actually, Giraj, I think I should find a guru and stop all this enjoyment. And look, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Temple. Let me go in here and see. Let me just stop my prickle and walk in here and see what's going on. I'll take some prasadam. I have some questions. Now, what is this Hare Krishna? Why are you guys? What's this all about? And then he ends up, getting initiated by that acharya or guru or whatever, and he starts his pure life and devotional activities. And then Giraj gives his real heartly gift. What Giraj wants to really give everyone is the eternal service of Radha and Krishna. So, are there any questions or comments? I'll stop here. Yeah, demigods, they're, as he said, he was making the point that Devas, the Suras, or the 33 primal demigods, and there are million expansions from each one. There's 33 primal demigods, and then all their assistants. Air god, water god, fire god, etc. Agni, Chandra, Vayu, Surya. They're all Devas. They're all Suras, devotees of Vishnu. And Durga, of course, is a great pure devotee of Vishnu. And generally they worship Shiva and Durga. And people worship them, and since they're Vaishnavas, why don't they give their worshippers more than just material benefits? Why don't they also bestow upon them the fortune of serving God as they are also doing themselves? And the answer is that they are delegated to act in that particular capacity by the Lord, and moreover, they don't want to interfere, because the demigods have a neutral relationship. The demigods have a neutral relationship with the jivas. They don't want to interfere with their independence. Like the man across the street, he may have a neutral relationship with you. He's like friendly, but your father, you can't say your father has a neutral relationship. He has a very active relationship. They're very concerned. So the demigods, they maintain their neutrality. You come to them and say, give me this and give me that. They say, oh, you stupid fool. I'd like to give you Krishna. Anyway, you want that, then you take that. So they don't interfere with your independence. They don't interfere with your independence. They don't try to redirect your thinking. They simply, they fulfill your desire, boss. But Krishna, because they feel that, well, this jiva, he's Krishna's. That's his department. If he wants to intercede or interfere with your independence, that's his role. But that's not my role. My role is to do my duty, to give him this benefit, that benefit, and I'll do that. So we see that the Lord, because he has an intimate, loving connection with every jiva. Mamaivam cho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. There are all these eternal parts and parcels. He has this anugraha. He has this extra quality of he's concerned, and he has a connect because we're his. He has mamta. The demigods don't have mamta for us. They don't have a sense of possession that we're theirs. They think, okay, we're order suppliers. But Krishna's thinking, you're mine. You're my part and parcel. He has mamta, feeling of possession. And I'm giving you your independence, but it hurts me. I mean, you're off there in the material world, but I can't, it hurts me. I can't tolerate it. So then he comes repeatedly. Age after age he comes. Why does he have to come here? He comes here to teach us and to show us. Show and tell. It's the original show and tell. He comes here to show us his pastimes and tell us about himself and tell us how to end our suffering and join again with him in yoga. Yoga means link, because we have an eternal link with God. And so the demigods, they're happy with their service and they don't want to interfere. So that's basically the... But Krishna, he's... The Bhagavan, he interferes. That's why it's said, that's why he makes a speciality. Yes, come on, you're worshiping demigods. Forget it, Sarvakama. You have whatever, you're full of all desires. Come to me. I'll give you everything. Oh, really? You're saying you'll give everything if I worship you. Tivrena Bhakti Yoga. Okay, let me try. But then he's a little tricky. Demigods aren't tricky. You worship them, they give you. But Krishna's a little tricky because of love. Sometimes the mother, she has to trick her child. And then someone might say, oh, you tricked your child. You told him it was candy. But actually it was medicine. You took the goli and you rolled it in sugar and said, oh, it's a toffee. You take it, you swallow it. Oh yeah, now you suck it a little bit and then swallow. Sometimes someone, oh, you cheated your son. Why you didn't give him? You said it was a toffee. Actually it was sugar. Inside was a bitter goli. Yeah, shh. Don't tell. Because love, then she has to trick him. It seems like she's tricking or even lying. So it seems like, hey, Krishna, you double-crossed me. Krishna, you double-crossed me. They use the term, double-crossed me. You cheated me. You told me if I worship you, you'll give me everything. So I worship you, give me some things. Now all of a sudden, I don't care about anything anymore. I just want some interest in you. What? You do some jadoo, some whammy on me? What is this? All these other demigods, they didn't do anything. They didn't enlist me and become one of their guys. And I just took what I wanted and went my way. You tricked me. Now you're making me chant Hare Krishna. No, it's really good for you. You should try it. You'll feel happy. So this is the loving concern that Krishna has. That he interferes. He tricks us. He interferes with our independence. He comes here. He displays his leela. He teaches. He gives so many sacred books and literatures and says, "Here, take it." That proves the greatness of Krishna. That's why he's supreme. The demigods are subordinate. They don't have that anugraha. They're busy. Why they don't want to take the trouble? You have to take. God's taking a lot of trouble on our behalf. Demigods, because the demigods are busy enjoying themselves. Why should they take the trouble? You want this? Okay. Oh, who's this guy offering puja? Hey Shiva, who's this guy saying Oh no Shva? I don't know. Just give him whatever he wants. Okay. Tell him not to bother me. I'm watching TV. So then she just gives him whatever he wants, and then they don't take his case into personal consideration. Think, well, what can we do for this guy? Really help this guy? Because they're busy with their own lives. But Krishna, a big part of his life is rescuing jivas. And Radha and Krishna come and take that as a specific mission themselves. The heart's mission is Mahaprabhu. Demigods, they don't want to go to trouble. Indra's also busy enjoying, but you worship him for something, okay. Who's this guy? Hey, take it. All right, no, he wants to get back to his enjoyment. But Krishna stops his leela, stops his enjoyment, and comes here. And becomes a pig. Becomes a pig to pick up the earth, because the earth gets in trouble. You think the demigod's going to become a pig to help you? Forget it. And now, does that show the difference between a demigod and Krishna? How much anugraha, how much compassion? The earth fell in a stool in the bottom of the universe. So the only form that can pick up stool is a pig. So he picked it up on the end of his nose because that's what they do. But he took the form of that out of his love. Why demigods could pick up the earth? That's not a big deal. Why didn't the demigods come? They said, "Hey, we're not going to touch the thing." They went to Vishnu. Even the demigods, when the earth fell in the Govardhana Ocean, picking up the earth is not a big deal. Atlas could do it. Charles Atlas can hold up the earth. What to speak of the demigods? But they didn't do it. They didn't want to get their hands dirty. But God is willing to get his hands dirty. Prabhupada is willing to go to the Bowery, get his hands dirty to help people. This is the karuna that Krishna and his devotees. They go anywhere and everywhere to give the love. So God is the reservoir of love. The demigods they're also bogies. They're Vaishnavas, but they're Vaishnava bogis. They're not Vaishnava preachers. They're not Vaishnava pracharaks. Of course, they also preach in their own right. I mean, Shiva's written so many wonderful prayers and glorification of Radharani, etc. So they're also preaching in different ways. But in general, they're seen as supply givers. But ultimately, they can't give anything without the sanction of Vishnu. They take your order. You give the order to them, like you give the order to the waitress, then she gives it to the cook. And the cook makes the dinner and then gives it to the waitress, and she puts it on your table. So the demigods are like the waitress. The cook is Krishna. He's actually giving all the things, and they're just delivering them. Right? Is that all right?
Father, I'm trying to understand the consciousness of the baby in the womb. You mentioned that the baby can remember the previous births, and also, I've heard that as soon as the baby comes out and once it's under the three modes of material nature, it forgets everything. So is it in a liberated state, saying all these prayers? And then what is it really wanting? Is it wanting like just Sarupya Mukti, Salokya Mukti, or is it wanting Bhakti? Or what is really the consciousness of the baby?
Well, if we take these prayers as find the answer for your question from these prayers and also Kapila's teaching, the baby is a devotee. Right? Jivera Surupaya Krishnara Nityadas. Jiva means living entity. Whether you have the body of a cockroach or whatever you have, every living entity is a devotee of God, a servant of Krishna. Right? So what these prayers are indicating that it's all about bhakti. He's doing vandanam. He's praying. He says, I'm doing really well. I'm really well situated here. I'm in the Vrindavan temple. I'm a pujari. I'm worshiping a deity every day and chanting. Why should I go anywhere? I'm doing good. I'm doing nice. I'm always remembering Krishna. So he's in the womb and he's doing bhakti. He says, my bhajan kutir. I'm doing fine. I remember my past lives, I was in a horrible situation, and I also know I'm going to get kicked out of here. So that's why one of his prayers is, look, I know I'm getting out of here because I'm being born. I'm being born. So when I come out of here, I hope I'm surrounded by devotees. I hope you put me in a place where, remember that prayer? He says, I want to be born amongst the devotees, where your topics are being spoken, where kirtan is being performed. He doesn't know when they open the door, he doesn't know where he's going to be. When they open the door of the womb, is he going to be in Harlem or with a bunch of drug addicts, or his father's going to be a dope pusher, or what? So he's not sure of what the future is. So he knows where he is now, and he's a devotee. Devotees don't ask for any liberation, right? It says, Nadanana Janana Sundaram Kavidam Bhajagadisha Kame Mama Janmani Janmani Shri Bhavajad Bhakti Hoitagidai. So he's not. The baby, he's not asking for liberation. So as far as, what kind of liberation is he seeking or asking for, he's already there. He's engaged in Krishna's service. He's praying to the Lord. I think everyone's followed these prayers. He's in the womb. He's praying. He's absorbed in praying to the Lord. By praying to the Lord, he's remembering Him, and he feels this is fine. And then if I stay here, it's fine. I'm remembering you. That's what he's saying. As long as I can remember you, that's all he wants. That's what he said in the prayers. All I want is to remember you. In the womb, I remember you, or outside the womb, I remember you. Wherever I go, I remember you. This is bhakti, Krishna smaranam, sadatam sadatam Vishnu. You should always remember the Lord. So the answer is the child in the womb, he's engaged in bhakti, devotional service, and he's remembering the Lord, and he's praying to the Lord, and that's vandanam, one of the forms of devotion. He doesn't want anything more than that. That's why Shukadev stayed 16 years. Shukadev stayed 16 years in the womb of Padmavati, Vyasa's wife, because he knew, if I come out now I'm in a good situation. I'm doing my bhajan. I'm doing my bhajan. It's really nice. So if I go back to Moscow, I don't know. I have to work and get a job, and I got to make money and just deal with these guys. But now I'm in a good position here. So I'm not coming out. Somehow he conveyed to Vyasadeva or something through telepathy or something. He conveyed to Vyasadeva he's not coming out unless I get it. Or he spoke. Actually, he spoke from in the womb. Vyasadeva heard him. He said, I'm not coming out unless you can guarantee that I won't be in Maya. So Vyasadeva says, I guarantee you won't be in Maya. He said, I don't believe you. You have to bring Krishna here. If you bring God here, if God comes here and tells me, then I'll believe it. So then Vyasadeva brought Krishna. And Krishna said, hey, look, come on out. I'm here. Haribo. It's me, Bhagavan, Sri Krishna. And if you come out, you won't be in Maya. I guarantee you won't be in Maya. So he said, okay, and he came out. He wasn't in Maya. He was Brahman realized. He emerged in Brahman. He didn't even wear any clothes. He didn't see any duality. He didn't see a mad woman, anything. He was absorbed in Brahman. Then he ran away. Then he heard 2 verses from Bhagavatam. Then he got attracted. He gave up that Atmaram Munio, Atmaram Ashtamunio. Then he became inclined towards bhakti. Then came back and heard the rest of the Bhagavatam. So the child's in the womb. He's doing really nice. Bhakta baby. He's in the Bhakta program. Is it clear?
Well, I still have one doubt, Maharaj.
Yes.
That such a shift in, because we're talking about everybody. This is not only Gaudiya, Vaishnava.
This is
devotees.
jivas. This is jivas. Not anybody. This is jivas. No Vaishnava, Vaishnava is jivas.
So this jiva, when he leaves his body, he has so many desires, and his consciousness is so contaminated. Now, when he gets after going through hellish time, he gets another birth. He's in the womb, and now his consciousness.
Human birth.
His consciousness has shifted so much, and his desires have become so pure. And then, if his desires have become so pure, and his consciousness is elevated to such a level, then why does he have to take a birth again? If he's only
you have to. First of all, he's in the womb because of his karma, and he's going to take a birth and receive a body because of his karma, also his purva karma. Now, it doesn't mean if you pray to the Lord and have a high realization that you're free from karma. Because he's suffering so intensely, because he has some sanskaras, as taking, apparently he's had one human birth or whatever. In this human form of birth, the jiva has evolved to receive a human form. So part of that evolution is that his samskaras of devotion have somewhat entered his chitta, his consciousness. So now there's a few, but there's a whole lot more samskaras for enjoyment. So the samskar in this particular junction in time, the samskaras for devotion, which are eternally part of the soul, you can say. And so when those samskaras for devotion in a human form, they have a chance to fructify. So now in this precarious position of suffering, the jiva in the womb, those samskaras are activated. Impressions, tendencies, directions. And he starts praying to the Lord because he has an eternal connection. Every jiva has an eternal connection with the Lord, and every jiva is an eternal servant of the Lord. So finally, in the human form, he can have some idea about that. And he has a very clear idea about it in the womb. But still he has this whole pocket full of material desires, and his whole pocket full of material aspirations, and a whole pocket full of material sanskaras that are going to carry him into this next body and then distract him from this pure prayer, which was, at this time, like they say, when someone's suffering, they turn to God. As soon as they're not suffering, then what do? They turn back to Maya. That happens even when you're out of the womb. When you're suffering, it's, well, this guy's going to church every day and he's praying day and night. He's really godly. And then all of a sudden, somehow he had some disease, cancer. He's going to die in 7 days of cancer. I hope God save me. All of a sudden, wow, the cancer remitted. I'm saved. Okay, all right, let's enjoy it. So for those 7 days, he seemed like he was a pure devotee. He was in the church day and night, praying. And when anybody see him, say, oh, look, he's a pure devotee. He's free from all material desires. Day and night, he's praying to God. But wait a minute, what about all the samskaras? He has so many more samskaras that are called prarabdha karma. That stage means what's going to fructifying in this life. So this baby has all kinds of prarabdha karma in his pocket also. That's why he's in the womb, because he has the material sanskaras. He have a material body. And then that body's going to come out. And then when he comes out of the womb, he has that material body and all those material samskaras which have to unfold and reveal themselves one by one. And then if he continued to keep up bhakti, then he could deal with all those samskaras in a devotional way. And he would suffer and enjoy, but he would be connected with Krishna. And that's what happens when you turn to Krishna. You still have your samskaras are coming on you. Your prarabdha is still coming forward on your head, but you're responding to it from a devotional viewpoint. And you're remembering Krishna, and you're going on serving Krishna, although the prabhupada is still fructifying. You can't stop that.
But like he's not engaged in any devotional service, he's only praying.
That is devotional service. You have to sweep the temple to be devotional service. You have to go on life membership to be devotional service. Do you know what devotional service is? What is devotional service? You don't know. Devotional service means to act in such a way, anyabhya lashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanamritam, anukulyena krishnanu, anukulyena krishnanu. Krishnanu, anu means anushilanam, krishnanu shilanam. Shilana means cultivation. Anu means one after the other. So act, and anukul means favorable, anukul. So to act in such a way, moment by moment, that you give satisfaction and pleasure to Krishna. In any way, by your thinking. If you're just sitting and thinking, that's pure bhakti. If you're just thinking of pleasing Krishna or doing, I'm making a garland for Krishna, I'm offering to him, that's manasi seva. That's devotional service. So he's in the womb, he's envisioning Krishna, Chaturbhuj Narayan, he's seeing Krishna, and he's offering prayers. That's perfect. You don't have to cook an offering, you don't have to sweep the temple, you don't have to go on life membership, you don't have to go sell paintings. And this is perfect. Moment to moment, he's thinking of Krishna and with a favorable attitude, and he's pleasing Krishna by his prayers. He's doing devotional service. What is your idea? Yeah, he has to do something more?
The confusion is still there, like it's connected to the same thing, only that why doesn't he then immediately when he comes out, then he should...
You're not understanding. If he was a pure devotee, he wouldn't be in the womb. You follow? So he's offering prayers, so that's the result of his sanskara for bhakti or devotion. And of course that's inherent in the jiva to have a connection with God. And when the jiva takes a human form of life, it's an opportunity to become aware of his connection with God. Only humans can become aware of God, no other form. So then he's saying this prayer, but he has a whole pocket full of material desires that is why he got this body of the baby. Those desires have made this body. The nose, the eyes, the tongue, the mind. It's full of material desires. Now when he comes out of the womb, all his material desires must fructify. They must fructify. Unless he takes up pure bhakti and he can remove all those material desires. But what happens is he forgets. He forgets Krishna, he forgets his prayer, and what does he remember? And what does he act on? All of his material samskaras and impressions which are in his chitta, or his consciousness. Then he thinks, I'm Punjabi, I'm a girl, I'm a baby girl, I have to go to school, and all these, because he had all these desires to do all these things, now he's gotten a body to fulfill all those desires. It's not that you say a prayer, you're absorbed in Krishna, it doesn't mean it's not, it's not like that.
Yeah, like you said, no devotional service, thinking or in mind offering something, all is devotional service, as well as doing practically like sweeping floor or something is also devotional service. So my question is, both of
sweeping a floor, if it's Krishna, not sweeping a floor, sweeping Krishna's floor, the temple floor. I mean, not every bhangi is doing devotional service. You're sweeping the temple floor, and it's for the pleasure of Krishna and the devotee. I mean, whatever you're doing externally, you have to have the mental and heart connection with Krishna and the devotees to make it devotional. Otherwise, it's work.
And so both of the same level, thinking and mind.
Yes, fully the same level. In terms, the thing is, the level. When you talk about level, you're talking about pleasure to Krishna,
Yes.
activity, mental, subtle, gross, mental or physical activity, which is done for the pleasure of Krishna, directly to give him satisfaction or his pure devotee. And that's what you're doing. At the same time, your attitude, your position of your heart is favorable, that I want to do this for his pleasure. Nothing for me, everything for his pleasure, for his happiness. So then it's pure bhakti. Or they're just sitting around in a chair. Hey, what are you doing? You're just sitting in a chair all day. You're not doing anything. Do some practical service. Clean a temple. Take out the trash. It's not like this. It's perfect. Krishna perfectly, you get full, the same 100% benefit if you just sit in a chair all day and think of Krishna. Or you run, but generally we can't do that, so we run all around the place. The Guru engages us accordingly. So we want to have a little bit of Radharat Sudanidhi because it's our schedule. We may have about 5 minutes worth. Everyone wants too much philosophy and not too much ras. And that's actually, the next verse is very interesting. By the illusory energy of Krishna, the servant of Krishna suffers in this way if he does not worship Krishna. And then it says, in due course of time, the child develops intelligence and knowledge, and if he worships Krishna, he's surely fortunate. Anyway, we'll get to that tomorrow. We're stuck up in the womb for a long time. Feel like we're we're all in the womb. There's so many days discussing this one thing. Reality tours. Discovery Channel. This is a real discovery. If you perform any bhajan under guidance, it's called anugatya. That's mentioned in the Upadeshamrita. It says, Tad anugami brajatishtan. This is maybe verse number 10 or 9 by Rupa Goswami's Nectar of Devotion. Brajatishtan means living in Braj. This is how we should live in Braj. And we're all living in Braj. Brajatishtan anugami anuragi sangha. What it means is that we should live in Braj under the guidance of an Anuragi Vaishnava. Anurag means one who's following the path of Rag, which can mean Raganuga Bhakti, which is actually sadhana, or he's on the path of Prem, which generally the verse points in that direction. But an Anuragi is actually, he's practically, you can say, a Bhava Bhakta. He's transcended sadhana Bhakti, Vaidhi sadhana and Raganuga sadhana are the two aspects, and he's firmly situated in Bhava Bhakti. He has Rag. Rag means attachment, asakti. Nishta, ruchi, asakti. Asakti means attachment. And I can also say Rag. So it's a border between Bhav and Rag, or it can be on the higher end of an Anuragi Vaishnava, can be a Bhava Bhakta, or even a Prema Bhakti, Premi Bhakta. So they will, if you happen to be under such guidance, of course Prabhupada is also such a devotee, so he's also giving the indication himself, if you can see it. But they will advise you that before you approach Krishna Lila, or Radha Krishna Lila, that you should obtain the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and even before Lord Chaitanya, the mercy of Nityananda. As Raghunath Das, who's Manjari, and he's teaching so much intimate bhajan in his Stavavali and other books, that he himself followed this tradition, or this system. It's called bhajan krama. Bhajana krama means sequence of bhajan, the step-by-step method. Give up material attachment, family, friends, wife, the goddess of fortune, money, position, fame, name, just forget it. Then run, and that can only be done by the mercy of Nityananda. So he got the mercy of Nityananda. He gave up all family connection, all interest in pounds, shillings and pence. And although he was only son, usually the only son has to hang around and get married and do puja and pind and shraddha and all these things. But he said, forget it. I'm captivated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Prem Sankirtan movement. And I don't want anything to do with this parivar and this continuing my dynasty and all these mundane things. So he told his father, Govardhan Majamadara and Haranya Majamadara, to his uncle. He said, listen, I'm out of here. I don't care. And then they tried to lock him up, tie him up, had so many guards, 11 guards sometimes, and cooks and servants and so many things. Then one time he got away and they caught him and brought him back, and he ran away going with the intention of going to Lord Chaitanya and Puri, and they caught him and brought him back. And then his wife, the mother of Das Goswami, Raghunath, his name was Raghunath, she was saying, can't you do something to tie up the son, to bind him, to keep him home? And then the father laughed. I said, are you crazy? His wife is more beautiful than Lakshmi Devi. Sweet, kind, subservient, and dedicated in all the wonderful things that a husband would look for. and faithful and chaste. And she says beautiful and decorated with beautiful qualities and beautiful behavior. She says beautiful as the goddess of fortune. And money, I'm earning 200,000 gold coins a month. 200,000 gold coins, not pieces of paper. No, and I am the zamindar for the entire area of West Bengal. And he's my son. And this is our estate. And if these things can't keep him tied down, this wife and this money can't keep him tied down this house, nothing can. No one, no force, nothing. Because his heart has been captured by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So eventually he ran away again and went to Panihati, which is in West Bengal. That's not far from Calcutta, actually. And he met Nityananda there with all the bhaktas, Vaishnavas. And then he got the mercy. Nityananda gave him means and ways. Of course, Krishna also arranged for him to escape through his guru's mercy, Yadunandanacharya. So by Krishna's Yogamaya potency, his guru, it's a whole long story. So then he met Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda gave the mercy, engaging him in Vaishnava Seva. In a very humble Vaishnava Seva, he got the mercy of Nityananda. And then he got the free ticket to go to Puri, meet Lord Chaitanya. Then he stayed for 16 years with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, living and receiving intimate instructions from Swarup Damodar, Rai Ramananda, and Haridas and others. So much tattva and understanding. And then he, of course, came to Vrindavan and took shelter of Rupa and Sanatan. And he was trained in Mandri Bhav and all these things, in which he wrote about. So this is the standard that we go through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to attain the service. Not go through, we actually worship them simultaneously. It's not like, thank you, you helped me out. Now I have the service of Radha and Krishna. I don't care about Gauranga anymore. No, the railroad goes on 2 tracks, parallel tracks. So one track is Gaur Leela, and the Sankirtan, and the preaching, and the assisting of the preaching mission one way or the other, directly, indirectly, by financial support or encouragement or whatever, providing some help. That's the Gauranga line, the Gaur line, the Golden line. And in London they have these different subways, the Gold line, the Red line, the Green line. So that's the Gold line. And now the blue line is the other track. That's Krishna Leela, Radha and Krishna Leela. So there we will do smaran, we'll remember those Leelas while we're chanting, we'll discuss those, especially the appropriate Leelas to the appropriate audience, and to those confidential, intimate devotees we may discuss the intimate and confidential pastimes. But firstly, we worship Lord Chaitanya. This is the sequence. First we worship Lord Chaitanya, we meditate on his Leelas, we read about them, and then with taking his blessings or begging for his mercy and blessings, then we step gingerly and slowly into the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, or maybe just the pastimes of Krishna with the killing the demons, which represent 70 different anarthas. If you actually break them up in different ways, we made a list, 70 different anarthas, obstacles to Braj Bhajan, which you have. And then, after removing the demons, then maybe you read about the Sakya Leelas, or the coward boys, and like this. There's a system, it's called Krama, Bhajan Krama. Not the immediately, I chanted my 16 rounds, and I had prasadam, now let's read Rasa Leela. Haribo. Krishna touching the gopis' thighs and putting his hand on their breasts and this and that. Yeah, great, I'm into it. I was just doing that last week with my girlfriend. That's not the way the Anuragi Vaishnavas instruct the residents of Vrindavan to carry on their bhajan. Because it's a sure way to destruction. So first Gaur Leela and Seva of Gauranga, and then by his mercy and the Seva Vritti, the Gaur Seva Vritti, which is established in the consciousness, then we get somewhat purified and understand something about the greatness of Radha and Krishna and the transcendence of it all. Then we have suitable adhikar, or eligibility or qualification, to slowly, carefully, and cautiously approach Krishna Leela in Vrindavan. And not that we immediately jump into the middle of the rasa dance. We may go through the demon-killing Leelas, or maybe Dwarka Leela, or Mathura Leela, and then come around back to Vrindavan Leela, when we get some purification, some attachment, some genuine understanding. This is the system. So if you want to do your own system, okay, Haribol. But this is the time-tested system for the last 500 years, the Mahaprabhu's Prem, let's say, Gauranga's Prem Sankirtan movement. This is what the Acharyas teach. This is what the Anuragi Vaishnavas, this is how they teach their sadhakas and their Bhajanandi students. Nam, Gaur Leela, Krishna Leela. So our classes are structured like that. Nam, Gaur Leela, Krishna Leela. And it's 5 minutes or it's 10 minutes, okay. That's all we're qualified for. But we'll try to see if we can increase the airtime for Radharani, because certainly that is our destiny and our goal, to become maidservants of Radharani under the shelter and guidance of in the Rupa Nugadara, the line or Dhara of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami and Raghunath Das. Rupa Raghunatha Pade, Hoivi Akuti. Akuti means eager. Akuti. When will I be eager to read the books of Rupa Goswami and chant his bhajans and Raghunath Das Goswami? I don't even know what the names of the books are. So how can I be eager to read them? So first we become aware, and it's like this. So they are our Mahajanacharyas, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Have you heard of this book?
Yes.
Some fabulous production BBT has done. So that's Sanatana Goswami, one of his primary contributions, and other books also. So Prabhupada has given us the essence of these books in his books, and let's study Prabhupada's books thoroughly and tightly and completely. Very few people can even stand up and say, yes, I have read all of Prabhupada's books. There are very, very few people in the entire world. And we can ask you, are you one of them? No, yes. And we could even say, how many books does Prabhupada have? 20, 10. So we're hearing the Lord Chaitanya has concluded his preaching, at least describing the perils of the baby in the womb at the age of 7 months, and how he's petitioning and begging and crying and calling out to the Lord with his realization of his predicament with about 10 or 15 prayers. He's quite a smart little boy. He's very precocious for the age of 7 months. And now he's kind of drawing this to a conclusion here. This is his teachings. By the illusory, this is Madhya Kanda, chapter 1, text 233. Lord Chaitanya taught his mother Shachimata. By the illusory energy of Krishna, the servant of Krishna suffers in this way if he does not worship Krishna. Now, this is nice purport, and we should pray that this divine revelation will descend into our consciousness. Every living entity is constitutionally a Vaishnava. What does that mean? If you don't know what Vaishnava means, it means an eternal servant of Krishna. Now, what does that mean?
It's inherent in every jiva that he has a connection with God.
Connection? Does that include the dog?
Yes.
Is the dog a living entity?
Yes.
The bird? Fish, cat, everyone? So that means all these animals and birds, they're all our God brothers. They're all bhaktas. Bhakta dog, bhakta bird, bhakta crow. So they're all constitutionally a Vaishnava. But by action, they're crows. Right? There's one thing is constitution, and the other is the actual external. As soon as the living entity turns from the service of Vishnu, he comes under the control of the covering and throwing potencies. These are two potencies of Maya. Krishna is diluting illusory external energy. The mentality of measuring every object under the shelter of the illusory energy through one's sensory knowledge is certainly deluding and born of the desire for material enjoyment. therefore the source of unlimited miseries. So he's commenting on Lord Chaitanya's verse, because Lord Chaitanya is saying, the servant of Krishna, due to Maya, because everyone's a servant, the servant of Krishna suffers if he does not worship Krishna. So then he's elaborating on that, saying, yes, everyone, every living entity is by constitution meant to serve Krishna. And if he doesn't, then he's deluded by Maya. And then his senses and all his knowledge acquiring senses and all his activities, they simply engage him in Maya and he suffers. Lord Chaitanya goes on, Kato dine kalavashe haya buddhigyan itteje bhajaye Krishna sehi bhagyavan. Vishwambar, Nimai Pandit, said to his mother, in course of time, the child develops intelligence and knowledge, kalavashe, buddhi gyan, and if he worships Krishna, he is surely fortunate, bhagyavan. So he may get some intelligence, some brain, as he grows, according to his prarabdha karma, but he uses it for computer science, BCom, and no interest in God. But if he worships Krishna, then he becomes Bhagyavan Jeev. What's that verse? Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach Brahmanda Brahmate Kon Bhagyavan Jeev. The Jeev, after wandering through so many universes, being a computer scientist and an engineer and a city planner and an exporter and importer, he finally becomes Bhagyavan Jeev. He becomes a fortunate Jiva. And what does he do? He surrenders to Guru. Then he begins his life of devotion and finds perfection of human existence by realizing Krishna and returning to Krishna to engage in his eternal loving service in his Siddhadeha, in the context or the purview of his Siddhadeha, his Siddhabhav. His Siddhabhav means his perfect loving mood. He's really fortunate. Anyata na bhaje Krishna dushta sangakare punase matta maya pape dubi mare. If he does not worship Krishna and takes to bad association, then he again sinks into the depths of sinful activities and delusion. Very wonderful purports here. And you can read that. 236. Yadiya sadbi patipuna shishnodara kritodyamai ashtito ramate jantus tamo vishati puravavat. Vishwambar continued, if the living entity again associates with the path of unrighteousness, asadbi pat, asadbi, temporality, influenced by sensually minded people engaged in the pursuits of sexual enjoyment and the gratification of the palate, means the tongue and genital, he again goes to hell as before. Here we go, full speed. So association can put you forward, association can put you in bondage. Anayasena maranam vinadai yena jivanam anaradita govinda charanasya katam bhavet. For one who has never worshipped the lotus feet of Lord Govinda, how is it possible for him to live in comfort and die in peace? So people, although they seem to be non-devotees and not interested in any puja of Govinda, anaradita Govinda. Radha means puja, and it's anaradita. They're without any worship or puja of Govinda. Charanasyam katam bhavet. But actually, they don't really live very comfortably, though they may make a good show. If you look into their lives, those impious, irreligious people who are separated from God, the Gnostics, the Pashandis, they are really in the core of everything. They're really alienated and really unhappy. And you can go and interview people in Delhi and find out. They come to the temple, we meet them. They have so much money, so much influence, and they're so sad and so unhappy. So frustrated. Because they're not serving Krishna. Now what to speak of when they die? When they actually leave their body? What good news is waiting for them? There's some really beautiful people. They have these phrases, the beautiful people. Go to where the beautiful people are. Go on a vacation here or there. Meet the beautiful people. Become a beautiful person. So they meet some very beautiful creatures at the time of death. You can look in the 5th canto and see how beautiful they are. They're yellow and green, called the Yamaduts, the agents of death. They come to greet the Pashandis. Oh, sir, please, we've been waiting for you for many years. We have a dossier. A dossier means a file, dossier, or dossier. We have a file on you, a mile long, 2 kilometers long, and we're going to let you have it. And they rip you out of the body and take you to Yamaloka for judgment and send you to hell, 24 hells. It's a 24-city tour. You get to visit 24 hells, and it's a very nice vacation. I hope you enjoy your stay there. And there's my friends and I will show you the way. And there's a few dogs with us, and they will bite your hiney. They will bite your butt, and they will encourage you to move very quickly down the copper road, which is burning your feet with this scorching sun over your head, and all other good things. If you want to find the real nitty-gritty, it's called the nitty-gritty. If you really want to find the nitty-gritty about going to hell, the 5th canto is only a summary, because all Puranas are there. 5th canto contains all the different Puranas, which with the essential teachings. So you want to get really into the nitty-gritty of going to hell, the road to hell of the Vaishnavas. The Vaishnavas also go to hell, but it's a nice road. And when they see Yamaraj, he's very friendly, smiling. He hugs them, embraces them. And he says, "Oh, what's the report on Krishnadas?" "Oh, he did all these Mangalartiks and all these things." "Oh, I'm very happy to meet you." Because he passes through a different gate. He says, "So, you really haven't perfected your bhakti. So now, of course, you won't go to hell. But now you take birth over here and this and that." It's like this. This is explained in Garuda Puran. And it's very interesting, actually. Very, very interesting. It's the Puran which is most translated in English. It's Garuda Puran. It talks about Vaitarani River and hell and all these good deeds. And also deformities. If a person has this, it means that, or at least it can mean. It doesn't always mean that, but if they have a long nose or something, it means this, or Pinocchio. You see, but it's not always true, because you can't say, "Oh, he has like this, that means that." But who knows anyway about the last life? But if you go to Brigu, then you can confirm or really what's being said there. Yad Sadbi. Oh, I said that already. I'm going backwards. Anayase marana jivana dukavine Krishna bhajile sehaya Krishnara smarane. Vishnuvar said, "To live without poverty and die peacefully, one must worship and remember Krishna." So those that worship Krishna, they don't see the Yamadutas. There's innumerable numbers of devotees who have died over the last 30 years. Vaishnavis and Vaishnavas. And you can collect all the reports. And I never heard any reports of the devotees seeing the Yamadutas. Like, dying like this. And rigor mortis. Rigor mortis means you get frozen position. And people that die in hospitals, normal deaths, materialistic people, they have all these frightening, horrible faces. They just saw the worst horror movie they've ever been to, and they're the star. They're the star, and the monsters are the Yamadutas. And at the time of death, they see them. They come, help me! And they die like. The devotees. Have you ever seen any devotees? Yeah, well, body it goes through its different transformations. But have you ever seen the faces or mukh of any devotees die? Anyone?
Yes, yesterday one mother.
Excuse me?
Yesterday one mother, she did body in Vrindavan.
You saw? What was her face like? Just here it is, like concrete.
Her face was peaceful.
Also 3 days before one Mataji left.
There you go, there's 2 in 5 days.
She became sick just 2 weeks before and they took her to Delhi in the hospital, and after like...
But the faces, what we want to know about, you've seen the faces. Anyway, what I've seen, I've seen 4 or 5 devotees when they're leaving. So if you want to counterbalance this, and you meet any nurses or people, doctors that work in the hospital where people have died, in the geriatric ward, which means the ward where old people are that die frequently, people go there to die, and you ask them, what do the people's faces look like if they're not all on drugs or whatever, which they are oftentimes, so they don't have any expression, and you can understand, you can find out, because I met in Sankirtan many people like that, doctors and nurses that work in these type of places, and I've heard from them. I haven't seen karmis myself. I never saw any relatives die, but I've seen Vaishnavas. And I've heard from them, and they say, oh, they look like they see some terrible thing, they're so frightened. Their faces are...
Faces get deformed out of rigor mortis, and the face is like deformed.
First, it's like, it's fixed. It's fixed in the position that it was when they left. It doesn't change. It's not like they're smiling, and then they get rigor mortis. They go, no. It's like they're grieving and they're frightened, and then they get stiff within a few hours. But that pose, the last one, that's the frozen in time. That's the one that gets frozen on by rigor mortis. That's what I'm saying. You ask them at the moment they die. Not everyone gets rigor mortis. Not everyone. Great Vaishnavas don't. When they brought Dhira Damodara Swami here to Radhakund, I saw him coming. They brought his body here, and he was already had left his body for 3 or 4 days. He left in Calcutta. Then people waited for relatives to come and see him, and this and that. He had left his body, and his body was being dragged around India for 5 or 6 days. And of course, I suppose they put him on ice here and there and keep it cool, whatever they could. But, there was no ice. It was a little cold. It wasn't so hot. But I didn't know that, because generally I've seen some politicians in Delhi that kept on ice. I didn't know they didn't have ice. I didn't have any ice. And when his body got here, they bathed him, and then he was sitting there, was dressed, and then they were going to bathe him afterwards. He's sitting there, and his arms were like totally, like everyone thought, oh, is he going to give a lecture? Because he was sitting on his asana. There was no discoloration. Usually your skin gets all these black spots and all these things like that. These brown people over there, normal people. And death spots, whatever they call them. And his skin was like golden, and it was so like, just like this. And then they put a curtain around so no women could see, because he was in the courtyard. And then they took off his clothes and they bathed him. And I was just standing there. Because, his God brother, they said, come. So I was just standing there chanting, watching. And his body, they lifted his arm up and then bathed him and then back down. He's totally as supple and as fresh as you are, or we are. And we're supposedly alive, I suppose. You have to break the fingers to do it and take them in the funeral morgue. In the West, they have these viewing of the dead body. People in the West, the Christians, they show the dead body and then they put it in the ground and they bury it in the coffin of the Christians. So that I know, because I had a friend who worked in the mortuary, funeral home, whatever they call it. So he told me that they have to break all the bones, because the guy's like this. But then when you go to see him on viewing, he's all dressed up and he's lying flat like he's just peacefully sleeping. And they break his jawbone, break it, because he's like this when he dies. He's like this. His knees are all bent up. So you go in to see your grandfather. He's like, ah. So they take the knee and break it and stretch out the body, and then they take the jaw and break it, and then they pin it up with pins. And he's sitting there. He died in peace.
Artificial.
Totally artificial. It's a whole makeup job, snow job. But here it's like, wow. And it is said among the Vaishnava Samaj, maybe in Shastras, I don't know. But if a Vaishnava's body is very supple and there's no rigor mortis, which also happens, it's considered that he's a Mahapurush. If the body after a Vaishnava dies, because maybe it happens to Badmash too, I don't know. But let's say if a Vaishnava's body after he dies is very supple and like this, all this stuff, in other words, no rigor mortis. This is a sign that Vaishnava is, or was, or whatever, is a Mahapurush. Mahapurush means a great, exalted Vaishnava. Prabhupada's body is so, no rigor mortis at all. And many of us godbrother sannyasis, when they die, they were rigor mortis. Many, because I met many of the old ones. I haven't seen, but I heard. They say, "Oh, your guru is very special." That I know. So this is, and I saw in Prabhupada. Of course, we know from birth he was a Vaishnava. Dhira Damodara. So now, I think let's see where we are here. It's quite an interesting class today. Well, because he's talking about death, and you'll die a peaceful death, so it's all part of the purport here. To live without poverty and die peacefully, one must worship and remember Krishna. Krishna bhajile, Krishna smarane. Bhajile means bhajan. Krishna bhajan, Krishna smaran. Because what does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita about the time of death? It's not about chanting, it's about what? Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Tyajanti kalevaram. This is the dying chapter, death chapter. Death chapter is chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita. Especially the first 10 verses are all about death and where you go, what you do, what this and that. So Krishna is saying, he doesn't say whoever chants Hare Krishna at the time of death. He doesn't say that. He says, whoever remembers me. Chanting Hare Krishna is, of course, a way of remembering Krishna. But you may be eyes closed, totally quiet, and remembering Krishna. Sometimes people say, oh, when she died, she wasn't chanting Hare Krishna. So she went to hell or who knows where. This is all ridiculous thinking, talking. Do you know what she's thinking? No. Do you know what she's remembering? No. Or he or whatever. So how can you pass this judgment? Oh, the poor devotee, he wasn't saying, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I don't know where he went. This is ridiculous. Krishna is saying, Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam. What is your bhava? What is your internal feeling and mood of surrender and devotion and attachment, and you're remembering? You may not be chanting anything, but you're remembering your wife. So, good luck. You may be remembering your husband. Good luck. Not Krishna. Bad luck. Because it's a two-way street. Love is a two-way street. Prabhupada said the same thing. He said, you may have coma, you're blanked out, your memory's all shot or eaten up, you have brain cancer, you're like a vegetable, like they say. The devotees maybe go like that also. There's dementia or brain cancer, all these, and then it seems like you have to feed him, and he just kind of dies. But so you don't remember anything. You're like in a coma, you're out of it. You're totally a space case. Like a vegetable, they say a vegetable. And then devotees can be like that also. Anybody can be like that. That may be their destiny or how Krishna wants to show something or teach or whatever. But then you can't remember Krishna, but Krishna will remember you and all the good things you do, and he'll carry you across. That's love. And certainly Krishna doesn't leave you at the end. He doesn't drop you at the end. You think he's like that? He's not like some material lover. You love somebody for 20 years and they just drop you and walk out and file divorce. You say, wait a minute. What about all the service I did? I was like, I have no feeling for you. Go anywhere but out of here. This is the substance of movies all around the world. But Krishna's not in some movie. Krishna's real. He's God. He's the supreme person, the supreme lover. So he will never forget. Chaitanya Bhagavat. This is Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur, Madhya Kanda, Chapter 1. Text 240, continuing, probably finishing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's discussion with his mother, teaching the same teachings that Kapila taught Mother Devahuti. Bhaktihina karme kona phala nahi pai. Se karma bhaktihina parahingsa jai. There is no substantial result in activities that are devoid of devotion to the Lord. Such non-devotional activities simply result in violence to others. Parahimsa, bhaktihina, karma bhaktihina, any type of action or karma or work we do if it's without devotion and without connection to Krishna, or His pleasure, or for His happiness, it's actually a form of violence. Why is it violence? Violence because it kills us and makes us die repeatedly, because it's mayak activity, so it's violence to us, and whoever we're doing that with, that karma with, it's also violence to them, because material activities are taking us away from God and keeping us in bondage, and whoever we're doing the karma with, we're keeping them in bondage and taking them away from God. So therefore it's paramahimsa. Kapilera bhavi prabhu mayere shikai shuni se vakya shachi anande milai. In this way, Vishwambar, in the mood of Kapila bhav, right? It's a bhav. Kapila bhav. So we read, and it's a fact, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to spread, or once spread or teach and to reveal about Gopi Bhav, Braj Bhakti, and especially Gopi Bhav. The Gopi, the Sakhi Bhav of the Pran Sakhis, the Mandri Bhav, Bhavulas Rati, a special type of Rati called Bhavulas. That's the speciality of his appearance. But here he's in Kapila Bhav. Where's the Gopi Bhav? It's Kapila Bhav.
Yes.
It's Sambandha Tattva, Jiva Tattva, as it is, reality tours. So this shows that the devotee should be versed in all these things. Lord Chaitanya, these are all his teachings. As Prabhupada would often criticize, people want to immediately rush to the 10th canto and dive into the ocean of ras in the pastimes of Krishna and the Gopis. And they have no regard or concern for Bhagavad Gita, which is Krishna's teaching 5 important subjects: Jiva Tattva, Karma Tattva, Ishvara Tattva, Kala Tattva. And probably didn't think that was a very good idea. Devotees should be interested in all the teachings. So Lord Chaitanya certainly taught directly and indirectly through his followers about Gopi Bhav and Raganuga Bhakti. But he was also in the mood of Kapila Bhav. He was also in Kapila Bhav teaching his mother about Sambandha Tattva and Jiva Tattva. So it's not that we neglect Jiva Tattva. Because you see, in the Jaiva Dharma, the end of Jaiva Dharma is what? Siddha Pranali. That's the perfection. That's the goal. That's the prayojan. But it goes very systematically from Sambandha Tattva, then Avideya Tattva, then Prayojan Tattva. So Bhaktivinoda presents the Gaudiya Siddhanta like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu presents the Gaudiya Siddhanta like that. Krishna himself presents Vaishnava Siddhanta like that. Our acharyas, our benevolent, merciful, well-wishing acharyas, they present the Gaudiya Siddhanta like that. So therefore we as the students of these great Mahajans, teachers and forms of the Lord, we must also systematically study Sambandha Gyan and Abhideya and Prayojan. These words are not being wasted. It's not that Shachi Mata is in Maya. Shachi Mata is not in Maya, and she's not understanding about Jiva Tattva. She's Jagat Mata. She's a mother of the universe. She's certainly not in illusion about things. She's Mother Yashoda. She knows everything. So this teaching is for us, the readers of Chaitanya Bhagavat and the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Gauranga Bhaktas, Gaur Bhaktas. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. So this is, it's behooves us to read this and reflect upon all this wonderful things and become inspired by these teachings of Kapila coming through the mouth of Lord Chaitanya, and take inspiration by this to become enthusiastic and determined not to take another birth, and see all these wonderful features, special movies, in-house movies. Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhyakanda chapter 1, verse 249. The Lord has completed his teachings to Mother Shachi in this Kapila Bhav. He was reiterating the Sambandha Gyan and Jiva Tattva that he previously had spoken. in his descent as Kapila Muni, divine son of Devahuti and Kardam Muni. And then afterwards, it's described how the devotees were receiving the Lord in the very early stages of his manifesting his godhood. And now, for the first time in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Vrindavan Das Thakur, Vedavyas, is referring to Vishwambar as Mahaprabhu. This is the first time this word is used, Mahaprabhu Vishwambar. Before he was Vishwambar and Nimai Pandit. Now he's Mahaprabhu Vishwambar. And he was hearing the Lord's names. He was in the mood of Vaishnava. It says Vaishnava Vesh, Mahaprabhu Vishwambar. Vaishnava Vesh, he was absorbed, enveloped in the mood of Vaishnava, Bhakta. Bhakta avatar and Bhagavan and Bhakta both. He was hearing Krishna's names day and night, constantly chanting. Jai Prabhu Achila Bola, Mahavidya Rase, Eve Krishna Vinavara Kichunahi Vase. The same Lord Vishwambar, who was once absorbed in the taste of scholarship, was once absorbed in the taste of scholastic pastimes, does not relish anything now other than Krishna. Ebe Krishna Vina Ara Kichu Nahi Vas. Vase, he doesn't. Before it's Jai Prabhu, this Prabhu, Achila Bola Mahavidya Rase. He was in Mahavidya. He was really relishing the Mahavidya, the ras. He was tasting the ras of Naya, Vyakaran, and defeating and challenging other pundits and defeating them. And even if they got close to his arguments, he would throw ink in their face and throw ink all over their clothes and push them in the Ganga and cover them with sand and chase them all over the banks and argue again and then defeat them. So in this way, Nimai Pandit was a ferocious, lion-like Pandit. He wouldn't tolerate anyone's arguments, nor could they defeat him. He was very proud, very arrogant. He was relishing the Mahavidya, but somehow, by the mercy of Guruji, he got Paravidya, topmost transcendental knowledge, understanding the real essence and meaning of life is to serve the Lord and hear and chant always. So now he doesn't care about anything. Kichu nahi vas. Vas means he doesn't want to live with anything. Vas, Brajavas. He doesn't want to live with anything, be with anything but Krishna. Padujara Bharga Sabha Ati Ushakale Paribara Nimitta Asya Sabemile. In the early morning, Ushakal. Ushakal means in the pink sky. And the sky is pink. Because that's the color of Krishna's feet. So naturally, Lord Radharani likes that color. When she sees the rising sun, Ushakal, and she thinks, oh, my Lord's feet are in the sky above my head. Beautiful. So this is Ushakal. In the early morning, all his students would gather for studies. Paraite Vaisagya Sri Jagat Rai Krishna Bino Kichuvara Na I say Jivai. When the Lord of the three worlds began to teach, nothing other than Krishna came from his mouth. Sri Jagat Rai. Rai means king or lord or master. Sri Jagat. Siddhavarna Samamnaya Bale Shishyagan Prabhu Bale Saravarne Siddha Narayan. They're asking about the Varnas, the Siddhavarna. The students said, what is the meaning of Siddhavarna Samamnaya? Samamnaya. The Shishyagan, all the group of students, they asked. The phrase Siddhavarna Samamnaya is the first sutra of Kalapa grammar. The sequence of reading vowels and consonants is well established since ancient times. By quoting the first sutra of Kalapa grammar, the Lord's students asked whether the standard method of presenting the alphabet is indeed well established. In reply, the Lord said that from the eternal, pure, complete, eternally liberated, spiritual, and most important, enlightened viewpoint, every letter of the alphabet refers to Narayana, 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 Narayana. Mahaprabhu said, Mahaprabhu Vishwambar said, Narayan is situated in every letter of the alphabet. Do you have any more questions? Oh, well, I guess, if you put it that way, then I guess we don't have much more to ask about Sanskrit. Well, the students were a little persistent, though. Shishya Bali, Varna Siddhahaila Kemani, Prabhu Bali, Krishna Drishti Patera Karane. You can't, they're trying to budge him, they're trying to move the teacher back to grammar. But it's too late. The poison medicine has entered his bloodstream. He's a Krishnite. He joined the Hare Krishna movement. He's been brainwashed. He only knows Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. The students asked, how were the letters of the alphabet perfected? The Lord replied, Krishna Dristi. Haribo. In other words, you say this and you say that and this and that, and what does a person say? All I know is everything is Krishna's mercy. So he's saying Krishna Dristi. Krishna Dristi Pater Karane. By the merciful glance of Krishna. Oh, Lord Chaitanya is really giving him a good time now. In reply to the student's question regarding the perfection of the letters of the alphabet, Mahaprabhu Vishwambar said that it was due to the glance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In other words, every letter is perfect. Why? Because each letter indicates the complete, perfectly pure, eternally liberated holy names, which are non-different from Krishna. Shishya Bale Pandit Uchit Vyakya Kara Prabhu Bale Sarvakshana Sri Krishna Smanara. The students asked, "Oh Pandit, please explain properly." In other words, they were thinking he was answering fallaciously. He was not on the point. He was daydreaming. Uchit, Vyakyakar, Vyakya. Give the right opinion. Prabhu Bali, Sarvakshana Sri Krishna Smanara. The Lord replied, Sarvakshan, every moment remember Krishna. Basically he's saying, listen you guys, forget it. You're not going to budge me. I'm not dizzy, I'm not dazed. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Every moment remember Sarvakshan. Shan means moment. This word uchit, the pandit, Shishyabali pandit, uchit vyakyabara kara means, uchit means proper, reasonable, or logic. In other words, listen, you're speaking crazy. Listen, teach, or teacher, you're speaking crazy. Now, let's be reasonable, let's be logical, let's speak properly. Remember logic? You're Naya Shiromani. You're Naya Chudamani. You're supposed to be the crest jewel of all logicians of Navadvip. Remember? So let's speak a little logically. What is this? Krishna's glance? What's this stuff? Krishna's glance, and Krishna, every letter is Krishna, and it all happened by Krishna's glance. You expect us to swallow that? This is not reasonable. This is not logical. We're students of logic. You yourself taught us. You are our guru of logic. Now you're speaking crazy. You're illogical. So please, get your head back straight. I think you're you got the bed on the wrong side or something. Get it together, teacher. Then Prabhu says, Krishnara bhajana kahi samyak amnai adi madhya ante Krishna bhajana bhujai. I'm explaining to you about the worship of Krishna, which is the purport of the beginning, middle, and end of all Vedic literature. Krishna bhajan, samyak amnai, adi madhya ante Krishna bhajan bujai. The students are going to have a hard time. Shuniya prabhura vakya hase shishyagan. Oh, it's so funny. Shuniya prabhura vakya hase shishyagan keho bale heno buji vayura karan. Hearing the Lord's explanation, the students began to giggle, laugh. Oh, isn't that cute what he said? And some students said, it appears that his life airs are going wacko. He is affected by an imbalance of life airs. Hena buji vayura karan. What is the karan? Oh, do you know what the cause of this is? Our teacher has gone loco. He's a pago. Shishya varg bhale ebe kemata vakan prabhu bale jena haya shastra praman. The students asked, from where did you get this explanation? Prabhu replied, this is the praman of the shastra. This is the verdict of the scriptures. Purport, Siddhanta Saraswati. The students asked, the Shishyagan, well now it's Shishya Varg. They're not a gun anymore, they're a Varg. They asked, how have you given such a strange explanation? The Lord answered, I have explained according to the conclusions and consistency of the scriptures. Now, the Lord continues. Prabhu bale, jadinahi, bujjaha ekan, vaikale sakala bujjaiba bhalaman. If you cannot understand now, then I will explain to you in detail later, this afternoon. Amiha virale gya vasi punti chai, vikale sakale jena, hai ekatani. Prabhu said, I will also go and sit in a solitary place and look at my books. Prabhu said, let us meet together in the afternoon. Punti means to study. Punti chai. Punti means study the pot. Punti. Shuniya prabhura vakya sarva shishyagan kotuke pushtaka bhandi karila gaman. They packed up their pushtak. Pushtak. They tied up their books. Hearing the Vakya, the Lord's words, the students packed up their books and gaman. They took off. They left. Sarva Shishya Gangadasa Pandit Derastan. Very clever students. What did they do? They went to the dean of the school. Dun 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 dun. We were attending school in one of your classrooms. We were attending the Sanskrit school, and your professor there has gone loco. We want to make a complaint, because if you don't give us our tuition back, we're filing a suit against this school. So they went to Gangadas. Who is Gangadas Pandit? The teacher of Nimai Pandit. Sarvashishya Gangadasa Panditaristan Kailena Sabajata Takura Vakan. All the students reported to Gangadas Pandit everything Nimai had said. In other words, they squealed on him. They squealed on Nimai. They said, listen, do you know, remember Nimai Pandit? Naya Shiromani, Vyakaran Shiromani, Dvija Shiromani, Dvija Shrestha. He's gone crazy. His life errors are out of whack. We've analyzed it. His life errors are imbalanced. He's speaking like a crazy man. He's saying, Krishna. Do you know what he said? He said the origin of all Sanskrit, all the letters, everything came from Krishna's glands. And not only that, and Gangadas said, oh, do tell. This is what they told Gangadas. Evejata vakanena nimani pandit shabda sane vakanena Krishna samihita. In every explanation Nimai Pandit has given recently, he explains Krishna as the meaning of every word. Samihita. The complete desired intention, wish, or purport. Gaya haite havat asi yachena agare taravadi Krishna bhai Vakya nahi spure. Since he's returned from Gaya, Nimai does not mention anything other than Krishna in his explanations of Sanskrit. Sarvadha balena Krishna pulakita anga shane hasya honkara karaye bahuranga. Nimai always chants the name of Krishna. Sarvadha balena Krishna. The hairs of his body are standing on end. Pulakita anga. Sometimes he laughs, hasya, or shouts, hunkara, loudly, ho! As he manifests different moods. That's how they're translating, but karaye bahuranga. Ranga, they're translating his moods. Different moods, different play. He's playing around. Ranga, different lila, Ranga. Different moods, I guess you can say. Prati Shabde Dhatu Sutra Ekatra Kariya Pratidina Krishna Vakya Karina Vasya. Students, this is more, they're squealing to the guru. They're telling the guru on the disciple. It's an old trick. It's an old trick. Many times one disciple will go to the guru and complain about another disciple, right? Oh, my spiritual master, do you know so-and-so is doing like this? Really? Acha. It's very common. So now they're complaining to Gangadas about Nimai Pandit. Every day he takes the dhatu, or verbal root of every word, and explains Krishna through grammatical rules. Very clever. Ebe tana bujibare napari charita kikariba amishaba balaha pandita. O Gangadas Pandit, we are unable to understand Nimai's present characteristic. Please tell us what to do. Upadhyaya Shiromani Vipra Gangadas Shuniya Sambaravakya Ubajilahas. Hearing the student's words of complaint, the Brahmin Gangadas Pandit, the Upadhyaya Shiromani, Upadhyaya, the crest jewel of teachers, Upajilahas. Upajila. What does Upajila mean? Blow up. Blow up. Upajila. Means he burst into laughter. So he didn't take it very serious, obviously, all his complaints. But sometimes disciples, they go and they complain, Guruji, he's doing like this, like that. Oh, really? Oh, that's, yes, I'll have to talk to him. Then that disciple leaves and he starts laughing. Oh, this guy. So he right on the spot, he laughed right in front of them. Oja bhale gare jaha asya sakale. Ajiyami shikshaiva tanhare vikale. Gangadas said, okay, fine. All of you go home now and return soon. This afternoon I'll give some shiksha to my student. I'll instruct him. Bhalamata karijena padayena punti asiha vikale saba tanhara samhati. Then Nimai will teach you properly. You may also come with him in the afternoon. So now Gangadas is going to call Nimai on the carpet. He's going to call him calling Nimai to the dean's office. The teacher is getting called to the dean's office. Parama harishe saba vasaya chalila Vishwambara sange sabe vikale aila. All the students happily returned to their homes. We fixed him good, huh? All right. We told the teacher on him he's going to get good sauce. Because they don't have any idea that Nimai Pandit is G-O-D. They they're happy that they squealed on their friend and their teacher, and now they went home. In the afternoon, they came with Vishwambar to the house of Gangadas Pandit. In the afternoon, they brought their teacher to the dean's office. Oh, Nimai, we met with the dean of the school. He wants to see you right now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here we go. Guru Racharana Duli Prabhulaya Shire Vidyalabhao Guru Ashirvada Kare. Vishwambara Prabhu took the dust from the feet of his Guru Charana Duli, and his Guru blessed him, saying, Vidyalabhao, Vidyalabha, may you attain knowledge. Guru Ashirvad Kare. Vidyalabha. How? Guru Bale Bhap Vishwambara Shuna Vakya Brahmanera Adhyayana Nahi Apabhagya. Nimai Pandit's guru, Sanskrit guru, his teacher, Gangadas said, My dear Vishwambara, Bap means, what does Bap means? Father, doesn't it? I thought Bap means father. Bap is in a term of affection also. I mean, it's like a very affectionate word, because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met with Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he said, Bap, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Radhabhav, he's Radharani, and Pundarik Vidyanidhi is her father, Vrishabhana Maharaj. But it's also a very affectionate term, Bap. So it's translated here as my dear, but anyway, it may have some different meaning also. My dear Vishwambara, please hear my words. Shunavakya. The studying of a brahmana is not the result of being less fortunate. Alpabhagya. In other words, to be a learned brahman is due to great fortune. Matamaha Janra Chakravarti Nilambar Bhat Janra Jagannatha Mishra Purandar. Your maternal grandfather is Nilambar Chakravarti. That means Sachimata's father. And your father is Jagannath Mishra Purandar. Ubaya Kuleti Murka Nahika Tomar Tumi O Parama Yogya Vakane Tikar. There are no fools in either your maternal or paternal families. In other words, Ubai Kula Murk. Like Gurukul. And your family, there are no murkas, fools. The Parama Yogi of Vyakane, Tikara. And you yourself are most qualified to give tikas, to explain the commentaries. Vakya, tika vakya, to explain the commentaries. Adyayan adyajana chadile se jari bhakti hai bap mata mahat ki tomara bhaktanai. If by giving up studies one becomes a devotee, like we say Shastra Adhyaya, or Adhyaya means the studying of the chapters, Chadila, you give it up. If one gives up studies by becoming Haya, taking bhakti, becomes a devotee, then were your father and grandfather not devotees? Bap, Mata Maha? Your great Mata. That's interesting. Grandmother is your grandfather, I guess is grandfather. Grandfather. It's Bap and Mata Maha. It seems like Mata means mother, no? It says long A Ma, long A Ta. Mata Maha. And it's translated as grandfather. Or maybe it's... It says Bap. Bap means father. And Mata Maha means grandmother. Doesn't it?
Mother's father.
Oh. Yeah, then that's a poetic way of saying a mother's father, then, which means it's another way of saying Nilambar Chakravarti. Anyway, so much for language. Iha jani bhalamate kara adyayana haile se Vaishnava Brahman. Remembering all this, practice your lessons properly. Only through proper study can one become a Vaishnava Brahman. So the dean is giving sauce to the school teacher. Listen, Nobody in your family is a jerk. No, nobody in your family is a mork. No one's stupid. Not from your father. You can't say, well, from my mother's side, there's a few puggles. My father, okay, Jagannath Mishra, he's a Brahmin, he's really pukka, he's smart. But on my mother's side, there's a few morks. So because of those morks, I'm become a little crazy. So he's saying, wait a minute, your mother's pukka, your father's pukka, your ancestors on both sides are very pukka Brahmins, very learned. So you can't say you're getting it from your ancestors, your craziness. And so, listen, go back to the classroom and teach your lessons properly, not all this Krishna stuff. Krishna. Listen, this is a public school. This is non-sectarian school.
Devolution. Shalagram Sela, Jaya Shalagram Sela, Shalagram Sela, Jaya Shalagram Sela, Shalagram Sela, Shalagram Sela, Shalagram Sela, Jaya Shalagram Jaya Dhira, Jaya Dhira Devi Jayo Vrinda Devi Nitai Haribo Nitai Gora Haribo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Lale Mante Bhakti Vedanta Swami Krishna 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 Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nevesenta Sunyavadi Prasakya Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nevesenta Sunyavadi Prasakya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Advaita Gadadara Devasari Ora Bhakta Vinda Jaya Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadara Gora Bhakta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadara Swami Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadara Swami Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Jaya Radhe Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Shyam, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Jaya Sri Radhe Shyam, Jaya Shyam, Jaya Sri Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhaya, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhaya, Purani Jaya, Jaya Nimani Jaya, Purani Jaya, Jaya Purani Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Jai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Sri Gaura Hari Bhajama Katavatsala Sri Gaura Hari Sri Gaura Hari Sahi Goshta Bihari Nanda Jasomati Chita Hari Dhira Damodara Ishaya Kana Bhova Mandire Basi Karaha Bojana Nandira Nideshi Bashi Giri Baradari Baladeva Saha Saka Vaise Sari Sari Shukta Shakhari Vaji Lalita Kushmanda Dalidana Dugda Tumi Dadi Mocha Kanda Dabora Mash Boda Roti Kabritana Raskuli Pista Kakir Puli Payasana Kapura Amrita Keli Ramba Kirashara Amrita Rasalama Dvadasha Pakora Luci Sinisar Puri Ladura Sabali Bhojana Korena Krishna Hoye Kutuhali Radhikara Madhu Mangala. Bagala Bajaya, Deya Hari Bolo. Radhikari Gani Hari, Nayane Rakone. Rita Hare Kai Krishna, Jasoda Bhavani. Bhojanande Priya Krishna, Subhasita Bari. Sabe Mukha Prakaloy, Hare Sari Sari. Asta Mukha Prakaliya, Jata Sakagane. Anande Vishrama Kore, Baladeva Sane. Jambula Rasalane, Kambula Masala. Tahake Krishna Chandra, Sukeni Jagela. Vishalaka Shiki Pucha, Chamara Dulaya. Apurva Saya Krishna, Sukeni Jaya. Yasomati Anga Priye, Danishaya Nito. Shri Krishna Prasad Radha, Unje Hoye Prito. Lalitari Sakti Gana, Avashesha Paya. Mane Mane Sukhe Radha, Krishna Guna Gaya. Hari Lila Ekamatra Jahara Pamora. Bhogarati Gai Thakur, Bhakti Vinoda. Bhakata Vatsala, Sri Gaura Hari. Bhakata Vatsala, Sri Gaura Hari. Sri Gaura Hari, Sahi Gosta Bihari. Sri Gaura Hari, Sahi Gosta Bihari. Nanda Dasomati Chita Hari. Nanda Dasomati Chita Hari. Raja Govinda Govinda Gopala. Raja Govinda Govinda Gopala. Raja Govinda Govinda Gopala. Raja Govinda Govinda Gopala. Raja Govinda Govinda Gopala.
Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chapter 1, Madhyakanda. We've been discussing
Jaya Jaya Radha Krishna Yugala Milana Jaya Jaya Radha Krishna Yugala Milana Aroti Karave Lali Adi Saki Gana Aroti Karave Lali Adi Saki Gana Madana Mohana Rupa Tribanga Sundara Madana Mohana Rupa Tribanga Sundara Pitambara Siki Pucha Chuda Manohara Pitambara Siki Pucha Chuda Manohara Jaya Jaya Radha Krishna Yugala Milana Aroti Karave Lali Adi Saki Gana Lalita Madhava Vame Vrishabhanu Kanya Lalita Madhava Vame Vrishabhanu Kanya